What's up, guys? In this video, I'm covering how to build a 6 or even 7, maybe even 8-figure social media marketing agency, SMMA, in 2023 with no experience, no money, and no skills. Okay? My name is Zach, founder of Think Bullish. I run an SMMA myself where we do 7 figures annually. We've been doing this for the last 5.5 years, worked with over 230 clients across the US and Canada, have about 25 employees at the time of recording this. And so when it comes to building an agency, I've definitely been around the block, worked with a lot of other agency owners. I have a lot of friends that are agency owners and have made a ton of mistakes up until this point that I want to help you go ahead and avoid and show you exactly what I would do if I was starting from scratch and building a new agency. And something I've actually implemented myself, building other sectors in our agency. So tune in, and if this is valuable to you, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because I share a lot of content on building an SMMA and also just getting client results and advertising results in our own agency. So number one, and it's probably beaten to a pulp in the SMMA market, the niche, but it is so important and makes your life so much easier, and it's pick a niche, okay? I think initially I wouldn't go and actually say like, hey, I am, that for this. I am the Cairo King, or whatever it is. But I would definitely pick an area to focus and select your niche then based on where you're getting the best results and getting the most clients. But it is so much easier to focus, and as you're building, to have related, similar clients, similar case studies, and it allows you to build so much quicker, right? So we've worked with 229, it might now be 231, chiropractic and medical practices over the last 5.5 years. And I'll tell you, when I'm talking with medical practices, we're not even competing against other agencies that are like more broad. It's very rare that I even see that. And it's like we just have such a serious edge where I have countless case studies of exactly what these guys are going through, exactly the problems they're trying to solve. And it just makes it so easy to get results and to close clients and to build our business even profitably, because it's like we're doing the same things very similarly. And so we're able to get better results. It's able to be more streamlined, where it's like I have so many different ads for chiropractors and different medical niches that I could plug in and know work, regardless of like what the challenge is. So, we're just able to get better results. We can guarantee better results. And it just makes it a much easier process to grow and grow with. And so, a niche in terms of industry, I think is important and makes it a lot easier. And also a niche in terms of service. And that's the best place to start. So we just do really 1-2 things really well for these practices. And so our operations are simplified. And like the solution we're providing is simplified. So I really encourage that. It makes it a lot easier. I started as a full service agency. We were doing everything. You could build a team and do it effectively, but still it's harder to optimize. Things are constantly changing in SEO as well as advertising and everything. And so I'd encourage start small, smart, narrow, and then add to it. So like we're working on now starting to add more and more services and potentially even go after more and more niches of more and more industries, related medical practices and things like that, and just through referrals, other things. And so, you could expand after, but I wouldn't start that way. So, go ahead, find a niche. For an industry, I'd find guys doing $1 million or more per year. Find a pocket of them. That doesn't have to be the only people you work with, but you want to look for industries that have that, where there's high revenue businesses, because then they're going to have money to invest in you. And so I was initially going after yogurt shops and all these things, and these guys were broke, not to be rude, but they couldn't afford my services. And so I'd look for the businesses that are doing $20,000, $30,000 a month plus, because those are the guys that are going to be able to pay for an advertising service, a marketing service, and invest into their business. Growing industries also are really powerful. So if you find a niche, solar is something that's fast growing. Of course, e-commerce, crypto. There's niches like that are growing industries, and so it becomes very easy to jump on board. There's also like medical services that are growing, regenerative medicine, which is one we work in, and you could latch onto those. And if you kind of catch that wave, you're going to be the premier agency for that growing niche. And as the niche grows, so will you. So another thing to look at. And then, getting in front of clients is a big challenge. So this was probably the toughest thing for us. It kind of came from some of the biggest challenges I dealt with was, and I'll get to pricing your services too. That was one that I really struggled with. But also, and I think probably more importantly, because you could just set a price, it was getting in front of clients, getting in front of prospects, setting the meetings. I know it took me years to get to a place where like our calendars were full with potential prospects. And, we signed our first client when I started the agency in the first couple months. And then thereafter, it took us a couple years to sign. I think it took us probably the rest of that year to sign another client, maybe 2 years to sign another client. And then it just kind of like slowly trickled until it started to really grow. And then we found something that really worked, clicked, and it really started to take off. But getting in front of clients was the toughest thing. And getting in front of people that actually gave a shit and listened to us. I know I set meetings. Initially, most of the meetings we set were like through referrals and people introducing us, or just people like I would meet in my network, or from social media, like friends and things like that. And I definitely encourage, harness your warm network. But I think more importantly is work for free, right? Alex Ramosi talked about this when he was talking about hiring a videographer for his own content marketing. And he talks about how this guy was negotiating the salary and to go work for him, which for many that would be like a dream job. And he said, there's a time to make money and there's a time to learn. And when you're first starting your digital agency, it's not the time to make money. It's the time to learn. And so work for free. I can't tell you how much probably future gray hairs and, just hours and literally years of my life I would have gained back by just working for free. And so, I think us now diving into new industries, in many cases, that's something I'm willing to do is like, we'll actually work for free. Even at this stage in our agency, in our business where we're pretty successful, we've got a strong team, like we're established. And I'd be willing to do that. That's something I'll be willing to do. And so, I think definitely starting out, like, don't hesitate, bite the bullet and work for free. If you have costs because you're paying people, I get it. Try and bite the bullet, maybe work another job, or try and get just, that covered. But I wouldn't go and like be asking for a big retainer or anything like that. Like, get the results, work for free, ask for a case study and 2 referrals. If you work for free. And so like negotiate that up front and just work for free. And it's going to be so much easier to get your foot in the door. It's going to be so much easier to close clients and start getting results and build case studies. And then like the agency will just skyrocket. When you have case studies, it makes it so much easier to grow. So work for free. Don't worry about the money. It will come if you're just committed into it for the long run and commit to growing this thing. So that is my 2 cents there. I'd also look at finding what your competitors are doing and looking to improve it. So this isn't a requirement, but heck, it makes it so much easier. Study your market. I know there was a point in our agency where we started to go downhill because I thought that I knew everything. I thought that our agency was good. I thought that our product, like our services, was good. And I stopped focusing on improving the service, and I stopped focusing on what everyone else was doing because I felt like we were the kings. And it caught up to me. And I know that when I really wanted to rebuild it, I wanted to push to another level with it, I was studying competitors. And so now it's like, if you come into our niche, I know what every single possible little big agency is doing, in and out. I know all of our competitors. I know exactly what they offer. I've heard countless case studies or maybe not case studies, but I've heard countless, stories about working with them. I know generally what most of them charge, what that includes, so I have such a big pulse on what's going on that it allows me to, look at what we're doing and make sure that we're the top dogs and price our stuff effectively and all these different things. And also just talk to clients and have another level of awareness when I'm having these conversations with them. So, with prospects rather. I would tell you to study your competitors. I know me starting out, I would even be jumping on the phone with my competitors, secret shop it and really find out what these guys are doing, find out what that pitch looks like, read their testimonials, understand what's going on and all the details. And then it's going to make it much easier to start, speaking with people in that market already in the conversation that they're having, already at the level where the market is, already with the challenges they're experiencing. So study your competitors and give it away for free. Don't be afraid to do so. And then pricing services is another big challenge that I had. And so, I think pricing your services as you get going, you could start charging after you have those results. But initially, like I said, give it away for free or as close to as you can. You could also do a satisfaction guarantee or your money back, and offer money back if people aren't happy, if you want to push for money up front. But I wouldn't be afraid to be, not aggressive with it or aggressively pricing your stuff for free and just giving it away. But that said, as far as pricing, that was a big challenge for me. I know I was ripping my hair out trying to set our pricing, so I knew what to pitch. I've been sick the last couple days, getting over something intense. So pricing, I think now how we do it is I know what our costs are and I'm able to price effectively based on what I want my profit to be, what I want our revenue to be, what I want that margin to look like. But it wasn't always like that. And I think starting out, it's also not like that because you don't know what your costs are. Pricing your services, I would basically start low and then increase it over time based on the resistance you're getting on sales calls. So if you're not getting resistance, it's an indication you could definitely bump it up. And I'd get to that medium where you're getting some resistance and you're getting people buying. And it's you could look at the close rate. You don't want that close rate to be super high where your prices are super low. You also don't want it to be super low where your prices are really freaking high. And so look for that medium. And then you can kind of start to look at based on the margin and where you want it to be. That's kind of how I would do it. You could definitely play off your competitors initially and see what they're charging and kind of model that. But one of the big things I heard, I think it was from Dan Kennedy, is, I wouldn't use that as a long-term strategy because most of your competitors are broke. So pricing it the same way as them is just going to leave you often the same way as them. So it's fine to start, but you're going to want to adjust things as you start to incur more costs, as you build a team and things like that. And you're going to really want to push it to see where you could push that envelope, where you're guaranteed or where it's a solid price and your clients are getting, a more significant return on investment with that pricing as well. So I know you want to be looking at 3x minimum for for most marketing services. If it's lead gen or SEO or something like that. And if it's closer to 10x, you're going to have raving fans that will never leave you. So, my 2 cents, some things to pay attention to. And then, Lastly, the last thing I want to cover is learning the services and doing it yourself. I know this slowed me down like crazy because we hired a lot of staff initially, but there was a lot of things that I was trying to figure out how to do, which maybe arguably was necessary at the time because I didn't really have a whole ton of capital. But I would definitely encourage finding either subcontractors that have experience. Key is they have experience, they know what they're doing, or white label partners, other agencies to do the work for you, and rely on that. And it might not be perfect. It might not be exactly what you want. They might not be the best people, which is totally fine. It's going to be good. It's going to be better than what you're going to do. And it's going to teach you to start learning how to be a manager as opposed to the technician doing the work. And it's also going to get you off the ground way freaking quicker than trying to learn how to do that stuff on your own. You could then learn much easier from guys that know what they're doing as they're implementing, and you could see what they're doing and really dig into it. And it's gonna save you so much time, so much effort, so much money, and really get you going. So highly encourage, start that way. Don't learn to do it yourself initially, and really I'd probably encourage ever. In fact, as you get going, it's probably a good thing to learn, but leverage help, leverage a team and build a team and do it that way. And with those 4 keys, you should be able to get rolling pretty quickly. You could find some solid white label partners, leverage their case studies, and now you even have testimonials, and now selling is a heck of a lot easier. And you could even ask them for their old leads that they haven't been able to close and see if they could plug you in and you're able to close them. So start that way. Don't hesitate to give out a free trial if you don't have those case studies, or even if you do, and get things rolling. Start it at a low cost, get the results, bump it up, build your confidence, bump it up, and as you get things moving and get the structure in place, you'll be able to start making some money. So that is how I would build my social media marketing agency in 2023 with 0 money, 0 skills, and 0 experience. And hope that was helpful. And I'll even give you a brief case study, brief context. We actually did this. I used another white label partner to add another service. And in 2 months' time, we knew what we were doing, of course, but we were able to build it up to 8K per month in just 2 months' time, very simply. So, and then we were able to bring it in-house and improve the profit margin and improve the experience and everything. So the stuff works. If you're looking to grow, follow this process and make it happen. And if this was helpful, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them in the comments. And I'll see you on the other side. Happy building.